Hi, my name is Cami and I'm very happy you're here. So, this video I'm making more for myself than anybody else because I've been struggling recently with a decision that I made in a moment of desperation. So basically for the past 3 months now, yeah, 3 months, I've been having a really hard time with my anxiety and with my depression too, but mostly with my anxiety. To the point where for an entire 3 month period, I had this pit in my stomach and this feeling of just dread in my chest that would not go away. For 3 months, it did not relent in the slightest. And I tried everything. I went on a website where I could talk to people about it. I tried talking about it with anybody who would listen. Oh God, my poor mom, she had to listen to me babble about it hours on end for 3 months straight. But I tried keeping it to myself and waiting for it to go away. I tried writing about it. Everything, pretty much. I tried drinking to forget, but that never happened. I never forgot. I would just be wobbly and anxious instead of standing mostly straight and anxious. I tried weed to stop being anxious, but that didn't help either. That just made me sleepy and anxious. I tried a couple other things too that I'm not going to get into, but none of it helped at all. And the one thing that I did not want to start doing was smoking cigarettes because I know how bad they are. I know what they can do to you. I've seen what they can do. I've seen them take people away. People have cancer from them. People lose teeth, lose their jaw, lose their everything pretty much. Their hearts to doing this, to this habit. But one night, in a moment of complete desperation, I was so desperate for this feeling to go away that I actually got up. It was about 4 in the morning, I think, and the idea came to me to just go out and buy one pack. One pack, no big deal. Just get the nicotine, just do that just for now, just to make it go away so that I could sleep, you know? I tried to say, no, this is a terrible idea. You know how addictive these things are. Don't even give it a try. Don't do it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna continue watching. I was watching a movie at the time. I was like, I'm gonna wait till the end of this movie, and if I still feel this way at the end of this movie, then I will go. I watched the movie and I did feel that way. I still felt that way. In fact, after the movie, I felt worse. So I caved and I grabbed my coat and my money and I left my house and I started walking towards the Wawa, or the convenience store. For those of you who don't live in Philly, I started walking to the convenience store. And the entire time I was walking to the convenience store, I was saying, turn around. Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself. But the desperation for that feeling, that terrible knot in my stomach to go away, I kept right on walking. And I walked into the Wawa and I walked up to the counter and I bought cigarettes. I already had a lighter in my purse that my boyfriend at the time had left in there. And I got my way of trying to make it not as bad, or a way of justifying it, I guess, was that I bought the no additives kind, the organic cancer for my hippie ass. That's pretty much what I got. And they were the same kind that my boyfriend at the time smoked, and he had said, they're not as bad. Like, they're still cigarettes. It's still a terrible idea, but if you have to smoke, at least they don't have as much toxins inside of them. So those are the ones that I got. And I put them in my purse. And I started my walk back home. And I hated myself with every step that I took. I even put on the app Whisper. I said, I cannot believe that I just wasted my money on this. I can't believe what I'm about to do to myself. Just in a moment of just pure desperation. That's the only word I can think of that would be true to what it was, because that's what I was. I was desperate. I wanted this horrible feeling to finally go away, and I was willing to do anything to make that happen. And I had people on there trying to convince me, don't do it, it's not worth it. And I just had the pack, I had it in my hands, and I was just kind of looking at it, like thinking, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not actually about to willingly inhale poisons into my respiratory system. I'm not about to willingly chalk myself up another reason why I could get cancer in the future. I'm not about to risk all of these things just for a split second of satisfaction. I'm not going to do that. Needless to say, I did that. I just had it, and eventually my stomach dropped. Just all of a sudden, the anxiety just plummeted. And it felt like there was a stone in my stomach. My eyes started to water. My hands started to shake. And I couldn't do it anymore. I tore open that package of cigarettes. I pulled one out and I lit it and I smoked it. And I smoked 3 more that night. I smoked 4 cigarettes probably within a half-hour period. And they worked. That was what made me mad. I was angry because it was the only thing that worked. I was angry that I had that instant gratification. I was wishing so much that I would smoke that first cigarette and that it would never work. It would have the same effect as everything else. Except this time I would just have bad breath and be anxious, or I would... Congratulations, you just breathed pounds of toxins into your system. But you're still anxious. I was almost hoping it would make the situation worse so that I would have a reason to throw away that package. But it worked. And it was incredibly bittersweet. Sweet because that was the first time in 3 months where I did not have a stone in my stomach. Where I didn't have lightheadedness or shaking hands or just feelings of just dread and premonition and just terrible feelings. And so over the course of, I would say, probably about a month, I smoked that first pack. I actually just finished that first pack earlier tonight. Because tonight wasn't good, but that's a story for another time. So after I finished that, I crushed up the carton and I threw it away, and I said, that's it for me. I'm going to keep the promise that I made to myself on the first night that I bought these things, which was, after this pack, I'm done. No more. I'm not going to buy any more because I don't have the money to be wasting $10 on lung cancer. I don't have the funds. I don't want the effects that it has. I don't want this. I can find another way to make this anxiety go away. This is not worth it. The risk is not worth it. And then pretty much after just a really weird and emotional night, I found myself wanting a cigarette. Bad. Bad. Like, it was not even me just wanting it, just to have it. It wasn't me wanting it to make the anxiety go away. This was just me wanting one. Sure, the sadness that I was feeling and the negative emotions I was feeling was probably a huge part of it, but it was also just needing it for the sake of needing it, which is addiction. And I realized that it was bleak. Oh my God, it was so bleak. And I was on a bus, and I was thinking about it, and I was saying, no, I finished my pack. I don't have any left. So that's it for me. Like I said, I promised myself this is it for me. And I've always prided myself on my willpower and on my ability to cut myself off when need be, to stop things if they are harmful to myself. But that is not something I can pride myself on anymore, because if these past 3 months have taught me anything, it's that I'm not as set in my will as I thought that I was. I do not have the willpower that I thought that I did, because after I got off of that bus, the first thing that I did was walk to that same Wawa and waste $10 on the same goddamn cigarettes. And on the walk back home to the Wawa, or the walk back home from the Wawa, rather, I'd had a cigarette, and it helped. And it just gave me a sinking feeling in my stomach, which was that's the first thing that I did not want, because that's what I used the cigarettes to escape from. And this is me trying to remind myself why I started, and to try and convince myself that it's time to quit before I am in this so deep that I have no hope of getting out of it. Because I know that any family members who watch my YouTube videos, or who see that I have this up here, or any friends of mine who see this, are all gonna fucking kill me. Because really no one knows that I smoke cigarettes. My mom doesn't know, my dad doesn't know. My friends don't know. So I'm probably gonna catch a lot of shit if any of them see this, but that'd probably be good for me, because it'd give me a reason to knock it off. So even if the reason is just to not get yelled at. But yeah, so that's pretty much why I started smoking. Because I was desperate for the anxiety to go away. I wanted the stone in my stomach to finally dissolve. I wanted my fears to go away. I wanted the buzzing in my head to stop. But while it did help, it took away the anxiety. Temporarily, but it did. It made my head stop buzzing for only a couple minutes, but it was something. Because after 3 months of constant movement in my brain, of a constant rock in my gut, I needed it to go away. Even for those 5 minutes, 10 minutes that it was gone. It was something that I needed. And I regret still, even though it helped, even though it did give me those couple minutes of freedom, it's something I regret doing. I hate that it got me, the nicotine, rather, addiction got me, to the point where now I have wants for it when I don't need it. I'm sorry. I'm upset that I went and I spent money to get more. And this is also to say to any of you out there rather, who are like me, and you suffer from anxiety or you suffer from depression, and it has you in its grip and it will not let go. I know how it feels. You feel like someone tied a weight to your ankle and threw you in a pond and you're drowning, you're thrashing, there's water on every side of you, crushing you in, and you feel like you cannot escape. I know that it's so tempting to be able to run out and grab something that'll take it away, even for a few minutes. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Do not get yourself addicted to anything if you are not already. Don't fall into the trap of it. Because that's what it is. Even if you think you have the strongest willpower, even if you say, after this pack, I am giving up. No more after this. This is it for me. Do not fool yourself. Do not start in the first place. There has to be something else out there that can take away the pain. Do not fall into the nicotine trap, because it's incredibly hard to get out. So that's pretty much just what I wanted to say. I wanted to, more for myself, remind myself why I did it in the first place, and realize that it was a moment of desperation and I made a bad decision, and that does not make me a bad person for doing that, but it's not like I started it with a good reason at all. It was a moment of weakness, and now I need to remind myself that I need a lot of strength to get over what I did in that moment of weakness, and to have the motivation to stop completely. And to tell anyone else out there who suffers from anxiety or depression or anything like that, to tell them that to not surrender to that moment of weakness, because you will regret it. I guarantee you. The couple minutes of relief are not worth the risk of your health, of your life, of anything like that. And that's pretty much it for tonight. So thank you very much for listening, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.